What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Today I am on Herricks Simulator, as you can see, and I'm playing a track that's been out for a very long time, actually. 2016, around April 2016. This is a track called Herricks Compound, made by Josh Perry. And I mean, Josh was one of them people. He still releases tracks a day, but doesn't release the tracks himself on the forums. I cannot remember the reasoning behind it, but way back when he did manage to get himself banned. But however, that does not take away from the quality of the tracks. He's always been a very good and I think quite respected track maker in the MX Simulator community, and I always have a good time riding his tracks, and this one is no different. Now, I've been putting in quite a bit of time on Sim recently, even just with buddies in Discord, just having a race around. I've been doing the elimination races that you've been seeing, and I've been enjoying it. You know, I think now that I'm starting to get some sort of a flow back and some sort of a resemblance of kind of former speed, it's making it a lot more enjoyable for me. Obviously, I'm still pretty dookie when it comes to nationals. I am much more of a supercross person, as you saw in the last English tongue twisted. Let me start. As you saw in the last elimination race video, but I think that's always going to be the case. I mean, back when I was in my quote unquote prime as well, supercross was the only ever championships that I won. I never won anything outdoors at all. And then the same goes for bikes as well. I'm not sure why. I feel like different styles just suit different people, don't they? But this is a very fast, very flowy track that I've done a good maybe 50 plus laps around here now at this point, just playing with my friends or playing solo in just my spare time. Now, it's not one that I would necessarily say is amazing for practicing for the upcoming outdoors season on bikes, but it's just one of them that I could quite easily just shut my brain off and run a whole bunch of laps without having to think about it. It's really nice. You can get cranked over in some of these ruts and just not shut off at all, and it's nice little switch up a pace from trying to try hard all the time. On the topic of the outdoor season, I've been informed apparently that it starts next week, which is going to be a bit of an issue for me because I do have my girlfriend coming to stay down for the entire week, so gonna be a bit awkward. Gonna have to be like, nope, sorry, can't sit in bed and watch TV with you. Got to play some MX Sim. But we'll see. I've not seen anything set in stone. This is just hearsay. But I think the person who told me I have like enough trust in. I mean, they've been around long enough and know what's what, to know when things are going to start. I believe so. My decision at this point in time is I'm only going to do the GP series. Speaking of Josh Perry as well, apparently Josh Perry's meant to be making the tracks, or some of, or I don't know all the ins and outs, but his name was thrown out there for making the outdoors, so maybe I'll like him a bit more, because I hopped in the Elsinore 01 server the other day, which is the server that the AMA rounds are kind of put on rotation that everyone can join, and I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know if there were different track creators. Obviously, I've not been around the community for some time now, but for the 2021 season on the RF side of things, I don't know if there was different track creators from the GP side over to the AMA side. I think it would make sense in my head, because I imagine it's a very big undertaking to do all those tracks in 1 year. I mean, if it was one or a handful of people, then fair play. I can imagine that is no lack of effort gone into that. But I think it's just the style in which the AMA tracks are built. I don't gel with very well. However, for some reason, the GPs I just seem to enjoy a whole lot more. Maybe it's just track layouts, European tracks compared to American tracks. No idea, but that's kind of why I want to do the GP tracks over the AMA tracks this year. That as well as I don't really want to be staying up super late for multiple nights throughout the week. You know, every now and then on Fridays I'll stay up late for the MX Bikes American races. That itself kind of ruins my sleeping pattern for the whole weekend. I've been staying up late on Sundays to do the elimination races on MX Simulator, which come Monday morning for work absolutely destroys me, only getting a couple hours sleep. So I don't want to then have to stay up super late Monday. I think it's Monday nights and Wednesday nights they've said that they're going to be on, although I don't know which order round they're in. So if I can limit it to kind of one series rather than two, I'll be quite happy with that. It's still enough to kind of just take a small dive into the competition and see what's what, although I do feel underprepared. I feel like it's come around a lot quicker than I expected it to. I've been doing well recently just on like easy tracks, like supercross tracks and tracks like this, for example. But when you do throw me out on those outdoor like GP tracks, I am quite a bit off pace. I hopped in the Elsinore 02 server the other day, and I think there was a stage where there was about 15 or so people in there, so not super stacked, but still a respectable amount. And there were some fast guys in there as well. And bear in mind, people were on 450s, I'm on a 250. But I think on average, my best lap was a good 4 or so seconds off, and that's quite a lot when you think about it. When you if you was to add that up over the course of a 30 minute plus 2 lap moto, sorry, I've got Supercross in my head, then it does add up a hell of a lot, and it's a little bit concerning, but I'm hoping throughout the season it will come with time, and I'd like to think it was purely down to the fact that a lot of the guys in the lobby have probably already ridden the tracks, whereas some of them I was playing for the very first time. You know, I downloaded all of the GP tracks a while ago, but I've not got around to playing them all. I kind of stick to the ones I've played kind of once or twice, and they end up being my favourites. For example, I really like Herricks, as you guys know. I really like Mattley as well. I done a race against the like replays of Mattley, and didn't do too terrible. I can't remember where I ended up actually. I think it was top 10, which I can't be unhappy with. Obviously, I really enjoy winning, but with that can't always be the case, can it? I can't just transfer from one game to the other and expect everything to go perfect all the time. And the simulator is one of them games where you get out of it what you put in. And it really does take a lot of concentration. So even though I'm going to be doing these races, bearing in mind they are late at night for me, I'm not going to be kind of doing them live or live streaming them in the same way that I do on MX bikes. I think I'm just going to set my Streamlabs to start recording, and then come the next day or a day or two afterwards, I'll go through, kind of either edit it down and give you highlights, or just kind of talk throughout the whole moto and what I'm thinking, what's going on in my head in certain situations. I'm still undecided. I also don't know if I'm going to do just one moto on the YouTube side of things, or if I'm going to do both. I feel like it might be a little bit of a waste of an upload if I do both motos separately, because essentially they are going to be the same race. So maybe I'll just pick whatever moto had the best race in it, or whichever one I've done best in, to try and make myself look as good as possible. I have no idea. That right there that I've just gone around is my favourite one on this entire track. Oh, actually, no, second favourite. There's a massive berm coming up in about 3-4 corners time, actually directly ahead of me now, over the back of this berm, like a long right-hander before the massive uphill jump that you can just get cranked over, third gear, not have to shut off at all, nice and easy. And yeah, job is a good one. I've noticed, so, on these simulator videos, I crash so much more when I'm talking whilst recording than I do like MX bikes, for example. And I think it's purely down to just the difficulty of the game and the amount of concentration that it takes compared to bikes. I feel like, or even if it's maybe just the hours I put in recently, bikes to me is just such like a much more easy game just to ride around and talk and have a bit of fun. Whereas I do generally, I try my arse off on sim just to get somewhat clean laps in. I mean, prior to recording this video, my best lap around here is a 31 something, I believe, and now I've crashed every single lap. I'm up in the 40s, and I don't think doing it justice, or doing myself justice, which I suppose again is another reason why I don't want to be doing the motos live, because I know how much I'm going to struggle. One thing that I'm quite excited for, which I haven't been able to do a whole lot of testing of in the meantime prior to outdoors, is just kind of getting into the whole road thing. Again, you know, I've hardly touched the road whatsoever. That Mattley video that I uploaded racing against the demo there was really my first taste of what an actual GP, like 40-man GP, would be like. I'm very interested and excited and kind of nervous to try it all out again. I imagine that I'm gonna struggle. I'll probably find that I'll be absolutely fine for the first maybe 10 minutes of a race, and then as soon as that road is like noticeable and has kicked in properly, I'll probably have a stage of maybe 2-3 laps where I crash multiple times over and over again, and then I'll probably gather myself and be like, okay, I need to change my line here and here, I can do this differently, that differently, and then kind of bring it on home a little bit stronger. But it's all going to be part of the learning curve at the end of the day. I do not plan on doing every single round. Obviously, life does get in the way of things sometimes, and especially with going to be I don't plan on doing the EU side of things. I think I'll try and do an A, because I believe that's where most of the competition is, for the most part. I don't plan on doing every single round, so it's not like I'm going to try and go after a bloody championship, for example. I mean, speed aside, there's no chance of a championship on sim anytime soon, unless I just completely give up any other game and just dedicate every evening to this. Because that's what it took for me back in the day, at least. You know, when I first got sim in that first year or so, I remember coming home from school every single day, putting in a good couple hours a night until I was like happy with where I was speed wise, and then that speed there, it never really disappears. The only time that it started running away from me was then when I made the switch to bikes and the muscle memory just completely went. I think if I hadn't have kind of branched out to another motocross game, I think I wouldn't be as bad coming back to sim, and I think I would pick it up a hell of a lot quicker. But I still find myself every now and then. When I hop on for the first time of the day, I'll press the wrong buttons because my controller mapping is different from one game to the other. Like it works both ways. You know, I'll go on to MX Bikes after playing sim for an hour or so, and again I'll press the wrong buttons. And I think that's kind of on me. That's my fault for not setting them up the same way back when. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because my config on sim is so strange. You know, like I've got buttons for my brakes rather than triggers. I can't really think of a whole lot of other weird things right now, but you guys know I play claw, so I do a lot of things with my index finger curled around on the right hand side, and it's just a very awkward way of playing. I imagine that the hand cramp that I'm going to get after 2 30-minute motos is going to be absolutely insane. There's a whole lot of more inputs that goes into sim. I feel like for the most part on bikes when you're playing, you only really have to kind of go up, on a 450 at least, you only have to go up and down 1 or 2 gears throughout the entirety of a race, I believe. The bikes will just kind of chug along. There's no real downside to leaving it in a higher gear around a corner, for example, whereas on sim I feel like you're constantly kind of mashing up and down the gearbox trying to get the most out of the bike. I feel like you're a lot more active, there's a lot more going on, and you've got to take a lot more control. The game doesn't do as much of it for you. It's quite a manual game, is sim, but that's what I enjoyed about it, and that's what I'm kind of getting to the swing of things now. And I think it does really help that the Discord that I usually hang out in, they're all kind of getting back into sim at the moment as well, after everyone's taken some time off, and it's nice getting to not learn the game again, but enjoy it again. And whilst I constantly go on about the fact that I regret taking the time off because now I'm nowhere near as good as I know I can be, I also enjoy that I took it off purely from the fact that I get to enjoy it again, because it was getting stale for me back then. I think I'd done something like 4 or 5 years in a row without stopping, and people get burnt out and everything, I suppose, and that is why as well I do try branching out on this YouTube channel every now and then, and not just doing one game. It's nice to mix things up, nice to add a little bit of variety to my day as well. I always enjoy playing different things, so then I feel like I don't run out of things to talk about from game to game for the most part, but then I also don't get burned out on games as quickly as I probably would do. I can't imagine, so I don't even know how many videos I've got on the channel at this point. I've been going for a year now, because it's been over a year, which I didn't even do like a special year video. Maybe I should have done that at some point, but that's been and gone. But yeah, it's been over a year. I think I've got 400 plus videos at this point in that year or so. And if every single one of those was to be on MX Bikes, I think I would have shot myself by now. There's only so much of one game people can take. But no, I'm enjoying my riding. Oh, I just noticed I've done a lap without crashing. It wasn't amazing by any means. As I go over the bloody bars, I always do this. But I think I'm going to end it there. I will put the download link to this track in the description. It's really good. Please scroll to page number 2, because there's been a re-upload of it. I'm guessing the original link doesn't work anymore, before everyone kind of comments saying the link's broken, doesn't work, blah blah blah. Just have a look through that thread, and you'll find what you need. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Most importantly, if you did, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I hope that you'll kind of stick around and have a watch of those GP races as and when I get to them. As I say, they're not going to be live, it'll be after the fact. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to. Until I catch you in the next video. Peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain. Even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want. Like I saw